Hey all, welcome to this week's episode of the Mike Muldoon podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry I'm late. Yeah, I'm doing it on Saturday because, well, basically we were traveling on Thursday. We didn't arrive here till Friday because we have moved to England. Yes, we have moved. We've relocated to England. Everybody says, oh my God, how are you going to do it? I said, well, I lived here once before. So my wife and I have made some changes in our lives. We have made some changes at times, and they're not easy changes. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. They're not easy changes. None of our decisions to make changes, whether move across the ocean twice or taking other jobs or moving to different fields or trying new things, they've never been easy, but they've always sort of worked out for us. So today I want to talk about, a little bit about this. If you hear some echoes, sorry about that. I'm in a rental property right now that we have for a few weeks as we're finalizing our other home that we're get here. Just finalizing so many different things. This kind of came on pretty quickly for somebody who's been listening to my podcast, but maybe I don't know personally. This was just a couple of weeks. It was, move to England, boom, everything had to get going. Sell a house, everything. It's just, it's been insane. But anyway, it's really cool because where I am, I'm staring outside the window and we got this really cool, like open setting that kind of then goes up and pushes up a hill, a lot of green into the woods. It's actually really beautiful. We're a little bit right side of London here. So it's lovely. But anyway, I just want to talk about, embracing that unknown. And for people out there, I just feel like so many people are scared to take a risk or take a chance, because in life, we often stand at the crossroads where, decisions really do shape our futures. And one of my favorite poems is always Robert Frost's, the poem he had, The Road Not Taken, which really captures the essence of these pivotal moments, right? It really speaks to two diverging paths in the woods, and each one representing a choice that leads to a different destination. It also, there's other breakdowns of this poem as well that you might hear if you were talking to other people. But anyway, as we contemplate these paths, we really have to confront the exhilarating prospect of, taking risk and journeying into that unknown. And Frost's poem really resonates deeply with me. And it's really been one of the guiding forces by me never wanting to really just settle. If I'm unhappy, I think things can be better. Let's try to do things better. It's not that I have to always be happy, but life is about living. It's not just about existing it. And so, Frost's poem really resonates with me, right? It's deep because it mirrors, again, these experiences of uncertainty and choice. And when you're standing at these crossroads, we're often faced with decisions that could alter the course of our lives significantly. Do we take the well-trodden path, the familiar and the predictable, or do we venture down the road less traveled and embrace the challenges and the opportunities if they present us and just perhaps lead us to living a better life? Taking the road less traveled really does require courage. It means stepping out of the form of all your comfort zones because you will not be comfortable when you step out. It's challenging conventions. It's embracing uncertainty. Just as Frost wrote, I took the one less traveled. And by that, it has made all the difference. These words remind us that choosing the unconventional path can lead to profound personal growth and fulfillment. And I can attest to that. I've done it multiple times. Again, I'm not somebody who sits around and goes, well, I'm unhappy, let's make a change. I'm not somebody who feels the need to go spend money just because I'm bored. What I'm saying is life is about living. And if I could see an opportunity that maybe I can make it better for my family or for my, for my kids and everything, then this is what I want to do. I want to experience life. Life is not guaranteed. Time is not guaranteed for us. The older I get, the more concerned I get with that. I'm going to be 50 this year, 50 years old. I remember being 25. I remember arriving in Los Angeles when I was 23, 24 years old, thinking a whole world's ahead of me. That was 26 years ago. That was right out of college. After living in New York for a stint, and it flies, and nothing's guaranteed. And the older I get, and the more times I'm seeing more people over the age of 50 just passing away, or 60, nothing's guaranteed for us. So we can't sit around and just say, oh, you know what, in 10 years from now, I'll do that. 15 years, that's not guaranteed. Time is not guaranteed for us. So I'm not saying, you might be, contemplating making a across the ocean move again, but it might be just taking on a new project, finally doing that trip, maybe, spending that money that maybe you don't necessarily have because you're worried you won't get it back. And I always want people to be fiscally responsible, but I'm saying sometimes people get too scared to spend just a little bit of money on that trip, not realizing that you're going to spend that money on that trip within reason, and you'll probably pay that money back and never think about it again. Again, I'm not talking to being fiscally irresponsible. I'm not spending $25,000 on a trip to Bali. I'm just saying maybe it's a trip to Disney or something like that where you'll pay it back, but you're too scared to do it. Gosh, I just went on a tangent on fiscal responsibility without being irresponsible. That's not, I'm saying sometimes we just got to make a choice. Sometimes it's just to pick up the phone, connect with an old friend, connect with somebody else, but we're scared. So we take the more predictable path, the one I know right now, that I'm safe and I don't have to risk anything. I don't have to risk being humiliated. I don't have to risk failure. I don't have to risk. And that's not what life's about. Life wants us to live. And every decision that you take a risk in is an act of resilience. It involves trusting your instincts, believing your abilities, facing the possibility of failure with courage. As Frost reflects in his poem, he says, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubt if I should ever come back. See, once we embark on a new path where there's no turning back, it's a journey of discovery, learning and embracing the unknown. I mean, the thing about Frost's poem, and this is why it's really resonated with so much, is that it encourages us to reflect on our choices and embrace the uncertainties of life. Again, each decision is an opportunity to carve out a path that's unique to ourselves. It's guided by our dreams and our aspirations. If you hear the faucet on right now, that's my wife. She just walked in and she just turned on the faucet right now. One thing about we are now, it's a lot smaller than where we came from. But anyway, we live on. But getting back to Frost's poem, and it's about embracing those challenges. Again, the road less traveled may be fraught with challenges, but it also offers you the potential for extraordinary experiences and growth. And of course, it's going to give personal growth. See, taking risks fosters personal growth and resilience. It shapes us into stronger, more resilient individuals. And again, if you listen to a lot of my podcasts, you'll hear this word resilience come up all the time. It's what makes us stronger. It allows us to push further. I look back on my life, every little step that I took. Maybe, some people didn't want to go away to college. I went away to college, right? So I got used to being away, which allowed me to leave college and move further away, which allowed me at some point to move even further away, kept pushing my resilience. But, we've talked about my traveling. I'm not a big fan of flying. I do it all the time and I don't really mind it, but I'm not a big fan of it. But every time I do it, it's always pushed my resilience further and further ahead, that it's less and less stressful it's become to me. But that's my own little thing. But anything in life we do, every time you take a step, you get a little bit stronger. It's like building a muscle. Resilience is building muscles. So maybe it's taking small steps for you, and those small steps lead to bigger steps, bigger steps. But again, life is about living, and life is a journey, and it's a journey of choices and risks. And just as Frost's, traveler ponders the diverging paths in the woods, we too face pivotal moments that define our journeys. Embrace the uncertainty, dare to take the road less traveled, and trust that each step forward brings new opportunities and insights. Now, again, as I've talked about in the past, if you're a younger person, you can make changes on a snap. You can just boom, make a change. You want to go. You have less, I say you're like a speedboat going across the ocean, and all of a sudden you want to make a change or take a risk or do something. It really only affects you. You can turn that speedboat around pretty quick, head off in the other direction. You're married, you got kids, you're like a cargo ship. It's going to take you a little bit longer to make those changes. And maybe a little bit more, less risk taking in the beginning because you've got more cargo, more responsibility. But it doesn't mean that you can't do it. All right. So as we kind of, as you navigate the crossroads of your life, and again, the younger you are, live. The older you are, it doesn't mean you have to stop living. But as we navigate the crossroads of our lives, just heed to Frost's wisdom. Choose boldly. Embrace the challenges. Celebrate resilience and savor the rewards of venturing into the unknown. And maybe that unknown is just a new relationship. It's a new job. It's a new workout habit. It's a new positive habit. Because in taking risks, we discover the true depth of our capabilities and the richness of all of life's possibilities. So let Frost's poem inspire you to embrace that road less traveled. A journey filled with courage, resilience, and the promise of transformation, taken from somebody who's done it a lot. I've always come out better for it. And again, you don't have to make a big decision. It doesn't have to be a big risk. It doesn't have to be a big move. But there might be something that's holding you back a little bit, something you want to try. And again, maybe it's just picking up the phone and calling that person you haven't talked to in forever, or what it might be. But if something's holding you back because, it's a little too risky, do it. Because two roads diverged in a wood, and I I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Life is about living. It's just not existing in. Okay? You can do this. If you need to learn how to build up your resilience stuff, go back, listen to my previous episodes. I've got a lot of stuff in there for you. As always, thank you so much for listening to me. Please share it with your friends. You can always check out my website at mikemuldoonlc.com. You can always reach out to me there, email me there. As always, I know we're already into the weekend, but I want you to have a great rest of your weekend. And as always, I've got nothing but love.